In this video, we're going to be talking about how to tell when an interview is going well or when it's not going so well. So let's get straight into it. What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Afzal Hussain. For those of you that are new here, you can find out a bit more about me through the social media links below, or you can check out my website, which is www.afzalhussain.com. The best way to tell when an interview is going well is basically to see if it feels like a conversation or if it feels like a drag. Now what I mean by that is, naturally when you're having a good dialogue with an individual and the conversation is just flowing, it doesn't really feel like an interview. It's not like they ask you a question and you answer it. They ask you a question, you answer it. They tick papers or they put across or they put notes, ask you a question, you answer it. It's more of a flowing conversation. So when your conversation or interview is flowing, that's a good sign that your interview is going well. Now you want to start off strong, and the best way to do that is oftentimes 9 out of 10 interviews will ask you first to tell them a bit about what's your background, walk me through your CV, and you need to start off on the right foot. From then, it's really about how you build rapport with the person interviewing you. Every question they ask you, keep in mind, most interview questions are going to be competency based. So tell me a situation when you did this, how did you act, what was the result? So the best way to answer those is using the STAR technique. STAR. Situation, task, action, result. What was the situation? What was the task at hand? What action did you take? And then what was the result of you taking that action? So that's the structure you're going to use to answer pretty much every competency based interview question. And then you're going to have the technical questions. Those questions are there to test your technical knowledge, to see if you've done your homework, your research, your planning, and if you know what you're talking about that business area, division or company, to see if you're strong enough as a candidate and to see if you have the knowledge to get you into the seat that you're applying for. And then you might have brain teasers, which are just there to test how you work under pressure, how your mind operates, how you think under pressure, and how your mind uses its thought process to get from problem A to solution B. You're going to have those questions, and that's normal. But if you can build a rapport with the individual, so if you can build a good connection, whether that's showing them you can listen attentively, nodding your head, having good eye contact, or if you just click or you just vibe with them naturally, the interview will feel more like a conversation as opposed to a tennis match where the ball is going from one side to the other side and back to your side. Take notice or pay attention to the questions they ask you. If they're asking you about your interests specifically in the job, if they ask you about specific responsibilities that the job might entail, if basically the more specific they are about the current job that you're interviewing for, then it's a good sign that they think you're a good fit or you're a strong candidate for that position. Now obviously that doesn't mean they're going to give you the job. There might be other strong candidates, but it's a good sign that you're a strong candidate for that role. Another thing to look out for is if the interviewer themselves is selling the job to you. So sometimes if you come across as a really strong candidate, they might start pitching the role or the company to you. So then you're in the driving seat because they know you're really talented, you're really bright. They don't want to lose you to another competitor, and so they start selling the role to you. So that's another good way to see that the interview is going well, and so that's a good thing to look out for. When you're giving an answer to the questions that the interviewer is giving you, if they give positive affirmations, so if they say, that's exactly right, that's great, I really like that, positive things like that show that they like your answers, you're on the right track, and it's another telltale sign that your interview is going well. If you get invited to the second round or the final stage interview, one thing to note is throughout the interview process, it tends to get, I don't want to say it gets more relaxed, but the initial interviews will be more formal and the latter interviews will be less formal. In saying that, you're still being assessed, you're still being judged, but the style of the interviews might vary, because initially you might be seen by the associates, analysts, VPs or whoever it is, but later on you're going to be seeing the more senior individuals of the teams that you're interviewing for. So you might meet the managing directors, the partners, and the very senior people at that firm. So, and the interview styles vary because at the analyst, associate, VP level, they are doing a tick box exercise. They're interviewing you, they're asking you specific questions to see if you're bright, if you're able, if you've got the right answers, if you're interested in the role. When you're interviewed by a senior individual, they just want to get to know you. They want to get to know a bit more about you. about your genuine interest in the company or in the business area. They want to see if you're, most importantly, if you're the right fit for the organization, if you fit the culture, if you will fit that team, because their role is to hire individuals who will mold or work well within their existing team. So it's more like a conversation. What do you do in your spare time? What type of books do you like reading? Why are you interested in this industry? You know, tell me a bit more about yourself. Stuff like that. They want to get to know you. So that's another thing to keep aware of. But obviously, if you get invited to the next stage, that means the prior interview went well. One thing to note, don't change the facts. So what you say in one interview, don't go and change those details in the next, because when people interview you, they go and do feedback. They talk with other employees to see if what you say matches up or if it's been consistent throughout the interview process. So keep that in mind. Now, another sign that you should be aware of to know if your interview is going better than expected or if it's going well is, if it's a 30-minute interview and it's running over 30 minutes, that's a very, very positive sign. If it's a 30-minute interview and it was 20 minutes or 15 minutes, I can assure you, you're probably not going to get an offer. If it's 30 minutes and it goes to 35, 40 minutes, it means they enjoy talking with you, they find you interesting, and you seem to be an interesting interviewee, maybe the right fit, very smart, very bright, and so they're trying to find out as much as they can, and also they just enjoy talking with you. And so that's very important for an interview, because you need to be able to get on with the team members. So if your interview runs over the scheduled amount of time, then that's a good sign. Another telltale sign is if your interviewer gives you their business card, then you're laughing all the way home. Alright, not all the way home, but if the interviewer gives you their business card, it means that person really, really likes you, because it's unusual for someone to give their business card to someone they're interviewing. If they do, that's a very, very good sign. But obviously, you're gonna meet lots of different people, so you need to please, or you need to impress everyone. If you do get a business card, thumbs up. If after the interview, the person who interviewed you decides to take you on a tour of the office floor or introduces you to different members of the team or other staff, that is a very, very positive sign, because what they're doing is kind of pitching the company, pitching the team, pitching themselves to you to show you, look, this company is great, lots of nice people here, you're meeting lots of people, you feel like you're already part of the company, and so it's a very good sign that they like you, and so they don't want you to go and interview somewhere else and take an offer somewhere else, because what they're doing is selling the company to you. So if you get a tour of the company on the back of your interview, see it as a very good sign. And then last but not least, a very, very, very good sign of a positive interview is if salary conversations come up. Now at the graduate level, so interns, so Insight Week, Spring Week interns, you're not going to get a salary. It's voluntary, it's not paid work, it's only 1 week. If you're a summer intern, your salary isn't discussed, it's kind of what it is. At the graduate scheme, graduate analyst level, salary conversations don't come up. If you're an experienced professional, if salary conversations come up, it means they're interested in you, they're considering, you know, how much they want to pay you, how much you were getting paid previously, how much you want to negotiate. And so any salary conversations, it's usually a good sign rather than a bad sign for an interview. Those are my top tips for knowing if an interview is going well, so do keep an eye out for those. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider subscribing, give the video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, anyone who's got an interview coming up. If you think this might be beneficial or useful for them, do share it. And I'll see you next week on Wednesday with another new video. If you've got any suggestions or comments, leave them down below, and I'll see you soon. Peace!